Well, the debate rages on. John Gruden, a good hire for Oakland? Well, let's put aside one thing. The $10 million a year or $100 million contract does not count against the cap. So the money is simply no object. Now, the knock on Gruden that a lot of people have is that he was handed a fucking team by Tony Dungy and won the Super Bowl and then didn't do much after that. Well, it is true, technically, and honestly, I don't think they really even would have won the Super Bowl had Gruden not known, designed, and built that team. He knew every play they were going to do. I mean, it was... Even they knew that. Gruden played Gannon's part in their practice, and it worked like a charm. That being said, so he didn't do much after the Super Bowl victory. He's been out of the league for, years. Okay, well, for one, he hasn't been really too far out of the league at all. This guy has been working with teams, players, owners, a lot of time to pick brains and all that. That's not really the point, though, because Gruden is a smart dude. Gruden required like 3 hours of sleep a night because he's fucking working. He's watching game film. He's doing the X's and O's, And that is the kind of guy that Oakland needs. This last season, we had some of the most fucking vanilla plays. Vanilla. And it's like, as an ex-football player myself and loving the game, everyone knows when your team goes into play, that team, or they come to yours, you study their offense. You study their defense. You look for weaknesses, and you try to exploit those weaknesses. You figure out which one of your guys can whoop up on that guy, and so on. Well, I don't feel like the Raiders did any of that this year. They just went in with some vanilla plays, and that's just what we're going to do. Let's just do these plays and go with it. Okay, so that being said, Gruden is fiery. He's a fucking fiery guy. He ain't going to let anybody sit on their ass without fucking yelling at him. I did like Del Rio. It was kind of sad to see him go. I wish he could have went, maybe became our defensive coordinator or something. However, he wasn't a real yelling guy and a real, fucking fiery spirit guy. That attitude alone is going to help tremendously. Okay. There's going to be higher expectations. There's going to be higher expectations during practice. And all these guys respect Gruden. They know where he's been, what he's done. And I think it will also help to draw some big-name players back in Oakland. He's going to demand excellence. And so it's going to help, without question. Will we win 10 Super Bowls? I don't know. I hope so. But now he's quarterback friendly with Carr. He's probably going to be the best damn thing that's ever happened to Carr. I really believe he will. He'll help him become elite with a partnership like the Belichick-Brady type thing. I would love it if they do bring in Rich Gannon as a quarterback coach, because I'll tell you what, that cat was one awesome field commander. He was a good field general, as smart as a whip, and I think that he could really help Derek as well. So, Gruden will be very helpful to Derek. Otherwise, we'll expose that suddenly Derek isn't worth anything. Highly unlikely. I think he just had a little bit of a slump last year after breaking his fucking back. 3 vertebrae in his back, and he came back and played, a week or two later. You take all the dropped balls by Crabtree, by Roberts, and by fucking Amari goddamn Hayward Bay. And there's at least four games we win there this year, even as bad as we played with the injuries. So, we should have been 10-6. But the way we close out the season, we didn't belong in the playoffs anyway. But back to John Gruden. Will he help Oakland or hurt Oakland? Well, in my opinion, he will help greatly. His attitude, his fire, his drive, his will to win is going to rub off on every fucking player in that locker room. It will. Every player in that locker room has been kind of trying to exude leadership. And Derek was doing a good job there until they brought in Marshawn Lynch. And it almost seemed like Marshawn Lynch stole the identity of the Raiders. He was me running out on the field, and everybody's talking about Marshawn. When the year before, Derek Carr was becoming a great leader. I would like to see more of that. I would like to see him as the fucking leader. I don't give a shit who's on the team. But it will help. It will help a ton. In Gruden's study ability, there are fucking... So I told you, there's 4 games that we would have won had our receivers not just sucked. Brick fingers. Now Krabs, he'll make the awesome play, touchdown. You get a Coop, make some fucking big plays and shit, but it just sometimes it doesn't make up for all the fucking drops on fucking, to be first down, to move the fucking chains. That's when we're dropping the balls. At the most inopportune times. So, I think it's going to help a fucking ton, man. A ton. Especially in the first year. So, it's kind of the same way that I feel about Harbaugh. Okay, so when Harbaugh came into San Francisco, he was like, fucking yeah! And Rex Ryan had the same type of rah-rah, braggadocious, we're going to fucking take these guys down. We are the best team in the league. Well, as you noticed for Harbaugh, that worked really good for a few years until they figured out that he was kind of blowing hot air up their ass. And as that started really showing up, then they started getting worse and worse and worse. Rex Ryan, same thing. He's like, we're the best. And as soon as they start losing, it's like, no one's listening to you anymore, fool, because it's just, we're not winning. So apparently we're not the best. So that's, Gruden's going to try to give him that, man, Bam, bam, bam. He's going to want to be the best, and I like that about him. And honestly, I think that he really does have the Raiders' best interest in mind with everything that he's doing. That being said, I don't see any reason why we couldn't at least be back to where we were last year at the 12-4. 10-11 wins, easy. One, because we had a slump year this year, injured quarterback, a lot of shit went wrong. But with that extra fire, we should get up over that, start getting back to where we were, and then we'll just see how competitive we get. And like I said before, we weren't game planning to exploit weaknesses and shit, going after this guy, going after that guy. We were just kind of like, we're going to run these plays, and, we're going to run these plays. So this year, we'll be game planning the fuck out of everything before each, It's like when you play Bill Belichick. You're like, fuck, man. They've now had a week to study our film, and you know damn well that he's going to study the shit out of that film, and he's going to find which one of your guys to exploit. Which one of his guys can whoop your guy. And we're going to use that guy to beat your fucking team. Well, that's the same thing that Gruden does. And just seems like not enough coaches do that these days. He's got a lot of work. Our defense is fucking atrocious. I did see definite improvement last year after we fired Ken Norton Jr., but it wasn't enough. I think we have some players that could do well under the right coaching and everything like that, and under the right scheme and shit, with the right leadership. And then there are other players on our team that just don't fucking belong there. No offense, kids. Um, Offensive and defensive line. That's where I start always. We need fucking more pass rushers. We need to clog the defensive line, and we need pass rushers, because a good pass rush is a defensive back's best friend. Emerson, he makes good plays, very inconsistent. We'll see about some of these younger guys if they take a step forward or not. But we need to get after the goddamn quarterback, and I'm hoping this is one of the first things that he addresses. Jack Del Rio and company built strictly on the offensive side, which led me to believe that this would be the year that they're going to go fully defensive, which I expect, but I don't know. But, you know, defense wins championships, kids. We can have a high-flying offense, that's great. You know, if we have at least a mediocre, middle-of-the-fucking-road defense and an ass-kicking offense, we'll be good. So I suspect John Gruden will be figuring some of these things out. And I think it's going to be a fun season. I really do. And I think we're gonna do fairly well. Fairly well. Anyway, guys, just a little football rant opinion. Have yourselves a great day. We'll catch you on the next video. If you like my idiotic videos, you know, like, subscribe, and all that business. Anyway, take care, guys.